Arr! We be pirates. I be One-Eyed Bart. And this be Captain Charlie the Crooked. I lost my eye patch, so I be improvising. Do you find this boring, Captain? Captain, that's rude. So we played this pirate game as Pirates of the Assassin's Creed, whatever it was called. And it was pretty good. What you reckon, Captain? Captain, what you reckon? The captain doesn't like to wear his hat the way that it goes. He likes to wear it like a bonnet. Captain! Hurry! The captain left me. He has many responsibilities on board. Captain Charlie the Crooked is more fierce than this Edward Kenway. Look, Captain, doesn't this look good on me? What you reckon? I tell ye, he's brutal. I will see you soon when we pillage and plunder your town.
What's up, guys? So it took me a really long time, but I'm finally going to review Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. So I told you guys early on that Ubisoft sent me both review copies of the Xbox 360 and the PS3 for Black Flag. So I actually played both. I didn't beat both. I beat it on the 360, but I did play quite a bit of the PS3 just to see the differences. So that's another reason why it took me a long time to do this review, but I played the hell out of this game. So first of all, the developers are Ubisoft Montreal, the publishers are Ubisoft, and the platforms that this is available on are the PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and Wii U. I think Ubisoft did a really good job about porting it to so many, to not only different platforms, but also to next gen. They had been working on Assassin's Creed 4 even during the production of Assassin's Creed 3. So they already wanted to go into this idea that they were doing with Assassin's Creed 4, and they just learned more about how to do it, with, especially with the naval battles from AC3. They learned a lot from that. So it was kind of, I guess it was a good idea to jump right into bringing Assassin's Creed 4 directly after Assassin's Creed 3, because they got all the input that people were saying, and it was fresh, and they worked on that. And even though it was released so soon after Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 3 was, at least in the Xbox 360, it had so many glitches. I literally had like these glitches that would ruin missions for me. When glitches come to that point where they ruin missions, that's when it's like it just comes to the point where I can't stand that. A lot of people did tell me though that the PS3 version of Assassin's Creed 3 didn't have all these glitches. Like someone was telling me I didn't even encounter one single glitch. So for Assassin's Creed 3, I think the difference between the PS3 version and the Xbox 360 version was pretty big when it came to the performance of Assassin's Creed 3. But with Assassin's Creed 4, I literally didn't see that big of a difference. I did come in contact with little glitches here and there on the 360. I didn't really come in contact with glitches in the PS3, but like I said, I didn't beat it on the PS3. So who knows if I would have later on. But the glitches that I came in contact in Assassin's Creed 4 were really small. They were like kind of like you encounter almost all the time in different games. None of them broke any of my missions. None of them where I had to restart. You could tell that Ubisoft really put a lot of work into Assassin's Creed 4. And I'm gonna go as far as to say that this is by far my favorite Assassin's Creed game. I still don't know if I'm gonna go as far as to say that Edward is my favorite assassin, but I think he is. I love Ezio, but I loved Edward. He was so different because not only his personality, him as an assassin, it was said in multiple interviews, and I did an interview with one of the developers of Assassin's Creed 4 at E3. It's on Video Games Blogger, so I'll provide the link in the description for you guys to go see that if you haven't already. But he was telling me that Edward, he's more like in it for the profit. Like whatever profits him, that's where he is. So I found that really intriguing because I was like, this is cool, because every previous assassin, you knew what they were, what their affiliation was. But with Edward, it was like this, it was not clear. And I mean, it was clear, but it wasn't like, it was different. I don't want to go into it, but it was different from the previous assassins. And I loved that. Like, he was in it for his own benefit. And so not only did that intrigue me, just the difference in the assassin himself, in the character himself, but also just, I mean, I love pirates. I freaking love pirates. I really don't understand why developers don't make pirate games. I mean, it's like the most obvious thing. And you could do such an amazing job with it. I mean, you cannot go wrong with pirates. Nobody has nailed it. And Ubisoft nailed it with an Assassin's Creed game. Those of you that follow me on Twitter probably remember this. When I started playing Assassin's Creed, I played about an hour of it, maybe less. And I was already like, oh my god, the mechanics are the same as every other Assassin's Creed. And I was kind of like, oh, the controls are still really, they don't flow well, and it almost feels worse than Assassin's Creed 3, because the flow in Assassin's Creed 3 of the way that you moved, it was just off for me. But then I stopped and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to judge it right now because I have played pretty much only an hour of it. So I was like, I have to stop. And I was like, you know what, I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to keep playing it and then we'll see. And I think when it really picked up for me was when you really get to experience the life of a pirate. Like when you get your ship, I was like, I fell in love immediately. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And as much as you want to continue the story, like the main story, this is another reason why I played the game for so long, because it's hard to continue playing the main story when there's so many things to do. And not just like individual things to do, like separate things to do, but like sometimes the same thing. Like if you go and, like, for example, if you want to pillage different ships that you find, I'd be like, okay, I gotta go to my main mission, and I would spot like a big ship off in the distance, and I'd be like, and I would be like, I gotta go through that mission, and I've been putting it off for so long. But then I'd like look with my spyglass, because you have a spyglass, which I thought was such a great idea. You use your spyglass and you could see the ship, and it'll tell you what's on board, what you could get. So if it's worth your time or if it's not. So I'd just look, and then I'd be like, oh my god, that ship has like over 100 of wood, or 100 of like explosive powder or something. I'd be like, dude, let's just go get it, and then I'll go to my main mission. So I'd always veer off my task. So I'd veer off, go take them down, and then I'd go back towards the mission, and then I spot another ship, and you're just like, let me just check. Oh, that one does too. As much as you think pirates are bad and they steal and kill and all this stuff, you see a different side to them in Assassin's Creed 4, which I really liked. And oh my god, the pirates that come out in this game, the characters, so good. I fell in love with Edward Kenway, the protagonist. He is Haytham's father from Assassin's Creed 3. Now that's not a spoiler, because that was said early on. So he's Connor's grandfather. And then you meet the notorious Thatch, the notorious Blackbeard. Oh my god, he's so freaking cool. every voice actor of the pirates, oh my, they did such a great job. It's not easy to pull off a pirate accent because people that just don't do it justice sound really bad sometimes. Like they will sound so lame. Arr! But these guys just nailed it. Everybody did. The voice of Blackbeard, oh my god, it was spot on. Spot on. Everybody that I've talked to that has played it has said the same thing. Like, oh my god, his voice. Vane, oh my god, his voice was so cool. So cool, like so deep and raspy. Roberts, his voice, like everybody just had perfect accents, and so it just adds to that feeling of being around pirates. That was the one thing that was the most important to me. Like, I wanted to know a story about pirates. Like, I wanted to play a story about pirates. I wanted to be a pirate, and that's exactly what they did. It wasn't like, okay, now you're gonna be an assassin. It wasn't like that. Like, you were a pirate first. The one thing that bothered me, though, since you were a pirate, was that you didn't have a pirate outfit. I was like, I want to look like a pirate. And, I mean, there is one, unless you pre-ordered it, you do get this one outfit that looks pretty cool. I think you get an outfit of, like, another pirate or something like that. You actually have a pirate hat. There's also the legendary, I think it's called Legend, Kenway the Legend or something like that, and it's pretty much just a brown coat. Those were the only pirate costumes, but those were like DLC type of thing. They weren't add-ons. They weren't like part of the game. And I was like, I want to wear a hat. Like, I want a freaking pirate hat. I want to look like freaking Thatch. I mean, that's not a big thing. It's not a big deal. But that's how I'm really big on aesthetics, on the way that your character looks and just that persona that they give off. I was kind of disappointed about that, but it didn't make my experience any less great. Now let me talk a little bit about the reality world. Like, you know how Assassin's Creed always has two views. It's the reality and then the animus. In the reality, the previous games, you were Desmond. In this one, it's very different. It's so different. I was really surprised. It's just first person. You're just first person. You don't see the person that you are. And for a second, I thought that that's how it started off, and then it was probably going to zoom out and you were going to see your character. He wasn't really a character. He was more of a vessel that you were moving around. So they didn't really make it personal. You didn't really get to connect with that person, and I preferred that. It was so different from Desmond, because Desmond was a real character. But this was just like, you know, they would talk to you and they would refer to you and all this. And you could interact with things and all that like a character, but you didn't have any depth to you. So you didn't really get attached to that character. And I love that. I hope Ubisoft takes Assassin's Creed towards this direction, more like this, how they did Assassin's Creed 4 with the reality, where they choose an Abstergo agent and they just have you play as him or her in the first person view, and they don't really make you get connected to that person, so you could change every time you play a new game. It's a different person, because I like the focus being on the animus. I like the focus being on Edward and not this other dude. And in the previous Assassin's Creed, there was the focus on Connor, or the focus on Ezio or Altair, but there was also this big focus on Desmond. Like, he was a big character. But in this game, the focus was Edward. And I was like, this is exactly what Assassin's Creed should be. I was kind of turned off by the reality of, like, the Desmond parts in the previous games. I'm not saying they were bad, but in my opinion, that's one of the things that I just wanted to, like, you know, go by fast. Like, I was like, oh gosh, now I'm Desmond. Like, I wanted to get through it really fast so I could get back to the animus. But in this one, you were detached, but at the same time you want to know what was going on, like because you did have a reason to be investigating around you. I won't say much more than that, but there are some weird things going on where you're just like, where you want to know more, and it does go into past games. There's still a sense of curiosity, but the focus is almost completely on the Animus, and the way that they did it was just so good, because Abstergo was pretty much, I don't want to ruin it. I think it's not really me. It would, what I want to say is not really me ruining it, but it's so cool when you realize it. So I won't say what Abstergo really stands for or what they're kind of representing in this game. I hope they keep going this direction, because I think this is exactly, I think they found their spot to be in. So in the Animus, when you're Edward, you do get to upgrade your weapons, your gear, your ship. The naval system is light years more advanced than the Assassin's Creed 3 one, which was one of the things that a lot of people loved the most about Assassin's Creed 3 was the naval aspect, and it was very limited. It wasn't hard to control the ship, because a lot of times in games when you have to control big transportation vessels, like big ships or airplanes or something like that, it's very awkward, or sometimes it takes a lot of time to get used to it, or you'll be like, come on, I'm pushing left and it's not moving, or you kind of have to be like, and it's not like, it doesn't move well, or the mechanics are hard to get used to. With this, it was very simple. You could get crew members. You start off pretty much with like one guy, and you recruit people either by saving pirates, or by hiring them, or when you take a ship down, you could get crew members from that crew. You could lose crew members every time you would fight, or every time you would board another ship. If you didn't kill the people in that ship fast enough, you would start losing crew members. Or you got hit by this crazy wave out in the sea, and you lost like 2 crew members. There was this one fort that I was going to take down, and it was so intense because the weather was horrible. It was like raining and wind, and there was like waves, like these rogue waves just coming at you all the time, and you had to and then the freaking fort was shooting mortars at you, and the way that you avoid those waves is to ride them. Like, you had to face the wave and ride it, and I was like, this is so cool. Like, it never got to the point where I was like, this is too much, like, just stop. I was literally just like having such a great time with it. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, because you would be like, okay, we gotta like turn the freaking ship around, and you turn it, and I would aim with my mortars, or I'd aim with my freaking broadside cannons or something, and I'd be flipped around like this because I had to shoot that way, or the mortars anyhow. But if you were gonna use your broadside, you had to be facing the side facing the fort. So I would be shooting, and then a freaking rogue wave would be coming like this, and I would have to like quickly turn the ship like this to right it. So it was like, oh my god, it was crazy, because I was like, oh my god. I love those challenges. I love that sense of reality where you don't just have to be focusing on the enemy, but you also have to be focusing on what is around you. It's a big world. It's a huge world. I mean, it's an open world. So just being able to sail the sea, and I mean, there is fast travel, but a lot of times when you need to upgrade your ship, you don't want to fast travel. You want to try to find as many ships as you can to take them out, so you could get materials so that you could upgrade. The Jackdaw is your ship. So you could change the appearance of it. I changed it once, and I never changed it again, because that's how I saw my Jackdaw, with the red sails. The fleet is something that you get afterwards, like a little bit more towards the middle of the game, I think, where you get access to the fleet. What it is, it's kind of like online. They kind of did the same thing, similar, in Splinter Cell, where you have to be connected to the internet or to Xbox Live to get these missions. It is a cool aspect to it. I liked it. I thought it was cool. And you did get more income. That's one of the ways that I got fast income. And you even get items sometimes, so that was cool. There are little side missions like every Assassin's Creed. There's your assassinations, the contracts that you get for assassinations. There are these side missions that I really liked, where you go and warn assassins that are going to that are kind of like on the Templar list. So you go and warn them, and they're like little storylines. And I love that. Like, at first I was like, this is kind of going to be kind of like the assassinations. It was different because they had little storylines, and some of them were actually pretty funny, and some of the characters were actually really cool. So I was like, I'm so glad I did that. Like, I wanted to do more. Like, I would finish one and I would be like, I'm going to go look for another one of these. And they were just side missions. The whaling is so much fun. You get to hunt either animals or creatures from the sea, like whales or sharks, and you get materials from them, and you could craft different mini weapons, and you could just upgrade a lot of your armor, and you could also create new outfits. You have to upgrade your little whaling boat. If you don't have it upgraded, the whale could break your boat and you have to start all over again. You have a harpoon. You could upgrade the harpoon. I think they did a really good job about keeping your interest in different areas. Read everything in hack everything in the real world, because you get some information there that you're just like. So again, when it comes to the 360 and the PS3, they pretty much, when it comes to looks, they're pretty much identical. Usually you're like, the PS3 looks way better, but I think they did a really good job with the 360 version because it looked really good. You know, it's kind of like almost an equal experience for both. Performance, like I said, it was almost the same. I mean, I think I played a little bit more fluidly without encountering many glitches on the PS3, but the glitches that I encountered on here were really small. I'd never encountered a big glitch in here, and even then, I think throughout the whole game, I probably encountered maybe 3. I was trying to count them, and I think there were 3 glitches that I was really sure that they were glitches, where it came to your actions and not so much you spotting some guy flying in the air. One of the biggest differences, because it says it right there, is you get 60 minutes extra of gameplay on here. It does star Evelyn from the woman assassin, the protagonist from Assassin's Creed Liberation. So you do get to play as her, first time in consoles. And the 360 does not have that. That's only exclusive for PS3 and PS4. So that is a pretty cool advantage. But when it comes to its performance and when it comes to its visuals, they're pretty much there isn't that big of a difference. If you haven't played the previous Assassin's Creed and you're wondering, should I play them? Like, do I have to play them to play Assassin's Creed 4? You don't. You do not have to play them, because the previous games, you kind of did have to play them, because, especially because of the reality world, the world outside of the Animus. That was a story that was continuing. Like, that story did continue on, and if you hadn't played the previous games, and let's say you just jumped into Assassin's Creed 3, you'd be really confused when it came to that part of the game. The Animus part it's always a new story, except for probably the Ezio story. That kind of, you don't have to, but it's best if you play those 3 games of Ezio. But this game stands on its own. You probably will be a bit like, what the hell is that? When it comes to some terminology or some characters where you're just like, or you might miss some hints here and there, but it's nothing huge. I think you would end up understanding anyways towards the end, because they do kind of talk about it. So I think I think you would get a good understanding of what it's all about. So I think this game could probably make you want to maybe try the other games, but just know that the experience is very different. Like, even though they're the same series, it's different in the previous games, not only when it comes to the flow of the game. I mean, the mechanics have always been pretty much the same. That's just a trademark of Assassin's Creed. And the story could get just... I cried. I cried like twice in this game. Like, not like freaking sobbed, but I did. I teared up because it was so heartfelt. And the way that the scenes are made and the music, it was just perfect. They did such a great job on some of those scenes. And some of them were so small, but yet the expression on Edward's face, like, you could totally feel what he was feeling. You always use two swords. You have your dual hidden blades, and you have 4 guns, 2 right here and 2 on your side, which came in handy. Like, use your guns and always have them charged. I think that's all I could say about this game. I think you guys will really like Edward and all the other pirates, because I just fell in love with them. And there's also the new DLC that came out about one of the characters that is in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Ade, called Freedom Cry. So that came out on December 17th. I already have it, so I might do a short let's play of it, or I might just review it. All depends on a lot of things, so I'll see if I could do it, because I would like to show you guys the world of Assassin's Creed. And since Assassin's Creed 4 was such a long game, and this is just a DLC, I believe it's gonna, I don't know exactly the size, like how long the game is, the DLC, but if it's a short one, I would like to do like a little let's play. So we'll see about that. Do I recommend this game? I definitely do. For Assassin's Creed fans, it's a must play. You have to play this game. You will love it. And for new people that have never played Assassin's Creed, you should play it. You should play it because it's a great, not only is it a great Assassin's Creed game, it's a awesome pirate game. If you were to tell me which game should I play first, where you're like, you know what, I've never played Assassin's Creed, out of all of the series, which one should I play? Which one should I start playing? Which one should I jump into? I would say Assassin's Creed 4, because this one fixed a lot of issues, and it's introducing you, almost reintroducing you to a theme in a different way. So it might get you interested in knowing what happened before. So I think this is a good place to start. So this game does have my seal of approval. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.